Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose. The man who rules the world runs into the irresistible force of a man with nothing to lose in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get the regular and variant editions of John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose on Amazon.com today. A woman who was upset that her Burger King order was taking too long decided to go get a man to come back to the restaurant and shoot and kill one of the employees. Now, in this incident which took place in this Orange County, Florida Burger King, 22-year-old Desmond Armand Joshua, who was working his first day at this fast food restaurant, was shot and killed by 37-year-old Kelvis Rodriguez Tormes, who had demanded that Joshua fight him. Now, when I take a critical examination of Kelvis Rodriguez Tormes' actions, they fit right in line with the pattern and profile I talked about regarding beta males in my book, The Man Crisis. And it's clear from the alleged actions your Kelvis Rodriguez Tormes is alleged to have participated in that your Kelvis Rodriguez Tormes is a textbook beta male. And the reason why he's a textbook beta male is because he did not enter this situation with any sort of critical thinking. He decided to go, based on the words of a woman, back to this fast food restaurant and look to confront these Burger King workers over a fast food order taking too long. Now, any other critical thinking man would say that this is not something he's going to get involved in, especially when facts detail that this woman managed to get her money back for the order. Most men would have said to her, look, you got your money back for the order. We're going to just deal with that and move on. We're going to go to another restaurant where we can get better service. We're not going to go back to this other restaurant looking to start drama. But because this was a beta male and he was used to submitting to female authority figures, he took the word of this female as the truth. And because he was so caught up in his emotions over this woman being slighted by these workers in this fast food restaurant, he decided to come back to that restaurant looking to confront those employees over an order that had already been canceled, and she had already received a refund for her $40. So the issue had been settled overall by the managers of that fast food restaurant, but this woman, who was so caught up in her emotions, wanted to go out here and escalate things into drama. And unfortunately, because this man did not have any sort of critical thinking skills or any ability to use logic and reason, he decided to run off based on his emotions back to a fast food restaurant to go there to argue with Burger King workers over fast food. And only, again, beta males think about doing things like this because they want to try to please and appease the female authority figure, and they want to try to impress the female authority figure. They think that by going out here and putting on a spectacle for the woman, they will go out here and curry favor with her. But when they go out here and participate in actions like this, what they don't understand is they are putting their intangibles of manhood at risk, things like their health, their safety, and their freedom. And this guy put his health, safety, and freedom at risk over something so trivial, and then he escalated things by going out here and looking to attack this 22-year-old young man, putting him in a headlock and choking him over some fast food. I mean, when you think about this critically, this is not something any rational thinking man is going to want to get this upset over and want to go out here and start to fight over some fast food. I mean, if this restaurant is taking too long and you get your money back, you then just decide to go to a competing business and give that business your money. That's all you need to do. Unfortunately, when you have a beta male, all he does is think about pleasing and appeasing the female, not understanding how this effort to please and appease the female is the thing that can lead to his life changing and the lives of other people changing, because he doesn't know how to navigate through his emotions, and because he's so caught up in his feelings about the woman, he wants to impress the woman. And what he wants to do when he tries to impress the woman is escalate his behavior in order to participate in these displays of what he thinks is masculinity, but it just shows how weak he is as a man. Because for him to get this violent over a fast food order taking too long just shows how weak he is. Moreover, it just shows how weak he is because he decided to go over to this fast food restaurant looking to argue with these employees. Because once a man starts asking critical questions like, did you get your money back? And she says yes, that's when that man shuts things down and says that everything is finished here. We will find another restaurant to go to. He puts a period at the end of the conflict when he knows that the conflict is resolved, and he does not escalate things because he understands there are more important things for him to deal with than these trivial affairs like a fast food order not taking too long and him not getting good enough service. A man understands that in the scheme of things, you not getting your food at a fast food restaurant isn't that important, and that his freedom, his safety, and his health are far more important than anything else. But your beta male, because again, he wants to go out here and impress the woman with his display of bravado, he escalates his behavior, starts arguing with people, gets into a fight with people, putting on a display to show the world how he thinks he's being a man. But then we start to see his cowardice when this individual decides to go back to his truck and go get out a gun, talking about, you've got 2 seconds before I shoot you, inside of a fast food restaurant where there are dozens of witnesses and there are cameras recording the entire affair. This just shows how this male, because he was in his emotions, wound up escalating things to an extreme level, participating in the most extreme of the spectrum of violent behaviors. And this is what beta males wind up doing. They wind up because they're simmering and boiling in anger and they explode in this rage, they wind up escalating things to these extremes, and then they wind up doing harm to innocent people, and then they wind up doing further harm to themselves. Because that's what this beta male wound up doing to himself. He did, after he took this man's life, he then wound up getting charged with first-degree murder, and will probably wind up, because he was a convicted felon, wind up going to jail for the rest of his life. So this guy, because he didn't really learn any lessons in the criminal justice system, is now going to be taking a second trip back to prison. And the reason why he's going to be taking a second trip back to prison is because he did not learn the male life skills or the male survival skills in order to think critically or how to resolve conflict in a constructive manner. Because when a man learns the ability to think critically and he learns how to conflict resolve, whenever a woman comes to him with some sort of foolishness like, oh, they took too long in the fast food restaurant, I'm going to go get my man, he's going to realize that this woman is trying to use him as a pawn, and he's going to check that woman and put her in her place. Because he understands that checking the woman is not about trying to make her feel better, it's about him looking out for the bigger picture as related to their health, safety, and freedom. Because this guy, he didn't think about those things, and this is why he's going back to prison because he didn't really think about his own safety and freedom. And he didn't think about how this woman was manipulating him and using him as a pawn, because that's what she was doing. Whenever a woman tells you, I'm going to go get you, you have to sit down and think about it, because you are the one who's going to lose at the end of the day. And a lot of guys don't think about this, and they wind up in situations like this because the woman runs out filled with emotion and histrionics, and they react to the emotion and histrionics. But a man cannot react to the emotion and histrionics. Unless this woman has been criminally violated, that man doesn't really take any action. And when he does take action, he calls 911 and lets the police handle the action. He does not engage the individual unless the individual is going to do something that physically harms both of them. In a case of a fast food restaurant not processing an order, again, a man checks that and lets that woman know that he's going nowhere, and he's not going anywhere because it's not worth him putting his life at risk or his freedom at risk, all because she feels slighted. He lets her know that there are more important things than her feelings, and those things, especially those regarding his safety and his freedom, are not things he's going to compromise because she's in her feelings. Because as a man, he understands that while it is his job to protect the woman from danger, he also needs to protect himself from games and crap tests and drama that women create. And when you see a female participating in games and drama and trying to crap test you like this, what he does is he shuts that down, because he's not going to let this woman manipulate him and send him off on a fool's errand and possibly do something that will lead to him winding up going to prison, where they will turn that tight end into a wide receiver. And that's what happens to guys like this guy. They wind up getting in their emotions, because I saw a lot of them happen in the late 80s when I was in high school. And in junior high school, a lot of these guys, these girls would send these guys out here, tell them some lie or tell them some story, and these guys would go out here taking out their guns or taking out their box cutters looking to attack some other guy. Meanwhile, this female is out here who tells the lie. She sends you out here to do her dirty work, and then when you get arrested and locked up, she's the same one who, in some cases, will testify against you in court. Or what she will do is, once you wind up in prison and you're getting your tight end turned out by these big guys in prison, she's out here with another dude and then sends you a nice little letter a couple of months later while you're sitting in jail waiting for your trial. She's the one sending you a letter talking about you don't do anything for her, and that's why you have to look out for yourself, and you have to make sure you put yourself first, because females like this will set you up. They'll send you out here to go participate in some sort of silliness or ratchetness, and after you do the dirty work and the police take you away, she's back out here with another dude and talking about how you did nothing for her. So you need to understand there are certain things you don't sacrifice for a female, and one of the things you don't sacrifice for a female is your freedom, because your freedom is the most important thing out here, and without your freedom, you can't go out here and do what needs to be done. You can't go out here and take care of business, and you can't go out here and be able to go out here and build for yourself. So you have to look out for yourself out here, and you have to look out for yourself above all else, because these females are not worth losing your freedom over, especially over something as trivial as a Burger King order not going through, because that food is going to be in the toilet 6 to 8 hours later, but you're going to be in a penitentiary for the rest of your life. And that's something guys really need to start thinking about, because whenever you hear one of these females go into histrionics, don't react to her emotionally. Think critically, and think critically about where you're going to be if you react to her. Because what you need to do is, as she's going on in her histrionics, start deconstructing what she's saying. Because if you start to deconstruct what she says, then you can come up with a solution. And those solutions should include calling the police, and they should include going out here and letting this woman know that she is not going to be able to run you based on your feelings, and she's going to have to follow your lead and follow what you do, because if she wants your protection, it should be on your terms, not hers. And that's what a critical thinking man is going to do. He's going to do things on his terms, because if she says, I'm going to go get my man, you have to learn how to be a man and stand up to this woman and let her know that you're not going to run out here because somebody hurt her feelings. You're going to deal with this in a constructive manner. And that's what this guy should have done, because had he done this, he would not be back in the criminal justice system. He would be free and out here, and that's the most important thing when it comes down to being a man. Now, if you want to learn more about dysfunctional beta males like the one I discussed in this video, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle formats. You can also find it on Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. And if you want to see me do more men's issues videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, The Temptation of John Haynes. Given to temptation, pick up this action-packed African-American paranormal romance. Get The Temptation of John Haynes in paperback